Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
My pleasure. Yeah, come right into the microphone.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
You're welcome. All right, Tim, give us some background on you, and Tom will tell us what your company does, and let's walk through the exploratory conversation.
Sure. Thanks. Well, I got my start in Silicon Valley. When I was going to school, I was programming on the Apple II in BASIC and got to get familiar with programming and computers and software at a very early age when I was in middle school. And I continued that interest through high school and college and started programming for businesses around the Seattle area during college, doing database programming and user interfaces with SQL Server backends and the like. Went to work at Microsoft as an Excel specialist and became a product lead for Microsoft Excel 5.0 up in Redmond, and then came down here to Las Colinas to help the company start the support center here in Las Colinas.
What does Docupay do?
Docupayment, it's Docupayment, and it digitizes payments for real estate agents. It basically handles the last mile of digitization in the real estate process.
Okay, now you're talking about that money that normally goes into a title company and then comes out the other end, or something else?
Yes, it's primarily for the earnest money and the option money period. Those payments are digitized with Docupayment, whereas right now they're done via physical checks.
Okay. What is your market penetration? Where are you going with the company? And how do you differentiate yourself from anybody else who's out there in your competitive field?
Sure. Well, Docupayment is scheduled to be released this year. It's not yet in the marketplace, but we are finishing our last parts of development and will be in the marketplace very soon. This will apply for every single real estate agent.
Okay. Are you focusing here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or is this a national launch?
We will focus regionally here in Texas, and then we will go national within about a year.
Okay. What's the difference between you and anybody else in your field? What's your competitive advantage, I guess, is a better question.
Sure. Well, right now there are a couple of alternatives for digital payments. As you know, there are some non-industry specific payment solutions out there for digital payments, but none of them address the regulatory compliance requirements that are in place for the real estate industry. And for those that do take some digital form of payment, they still require a physical check, a copy of the check, an image for deposit or transfer, and we're going completely check-free with our system. That's one advantage. The other is that we automate the workflow through intelligent automation so that each of the real estate agents are notified and proactively communicated with during the process so that we don't have to manually oversee that. None of the agents have to oversee the process.
Sorry about that. Hit my own button and turned myself off.
Tim, Ed Baxter, Bison Creek Capital. I had a question about that particular process. When you talk about automating the payment process for real estate, when you do that, do you foresee a time in which you automate the entire HUD one and it becomes part of the process going forward as a part of the payment too?
Well, that's a great question. We automate everything after the contract has been signed. So companies like DocuSign have already automated the workflow of the contract signing, and there's plenty of other uses of the internet and technology to help find a home and close on a home. But we actually take the process from the time of contract signing all the way through closing and automate that entire process. And that's what's missing today.
Okay. Is there a transaction fee that's involved, and how do you compete with your competitors on that note?
So this is a service to the real estate agents, and therefore it will be a service that they pay for, and we also have some commission payments from the title companies. So that's the revenue source for us. And for real estate agents, they're going to save anywhere between an hour and 2 hours on average. We average about 90 minutes of time savings per house that's sold. So for them, it's going to be a huge productivity boost. And the cost per year is going to be easily justified by them. And it'll only be a fraction of what DocuSign charges, for example, for digital contract signing.
Are you growing the company organically, or are you seeking investment capital because you've got certain expansion needs? How is that into the business work?
Sure. At this time, we are actively holding investor meetings to obtain the last part of capital needed to go to market, and we are entertaining different offers for that. But right now we do have a partnership with one of the national title companies as well. So they're going to help us market this nationwide.
Okay, so are there going to be your driving force to reach out and talk to your market like the real estate agents you were telling me about?
Sure, yeah. In terms of the marketing, they will help tremendously, but we're also going to be talking to larger organizations, national and state real estate organizations, brokers, and other real estate organizations from the top and from the bottom. This will involve multiple agents per transaction. One agent will become familiar with the system, and the word will spread that way as well, as the buyer agent and the seller agent both become aware of the system.
Got it. Ed?
Tim, going forward, do you expect this to become the standard for payment systems in real estate?
Absolutely. This will be
That
the
would
way
be the goal?
that payments are done. No more checks. Say goodbye to checks. Millennials really oftentimes don't even have checkbooks these days. Go try to find a 22-year-old with a physical checkbook, and they might get back to you tomorrow with it if they even have one.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I have a 22-year-old, and she does not know what. I don't think she knows what a checkbook is, so I can identify with that. Looking at how you roll this out, obviously you're going to look for strategic partners in the industry to help you kind of monetize the way you do this. What do you see as the number one constituency going forward? Will it be the title companies or direct to realtors as you do this?
Oh, wow. That's a really great question. I mean, the title companies have a tremendous bearing on this because they are at the closing, they're hosting the closing, and they facilitate the receipt of earnest money as part of the residential real estate transaction. And also we're providing the commission payments to the agents via bank transfers. So they're a vital part of this. But the real estate agents themselves will be the driving force behind Docupayment. They will be the ones that use it, that benefit from it the most. And so we're definitely going to be reaching the real estate agents more than anyone else.
I guess one last question. You just kind of jogged my memory there again. In looking at a product like this, the ultimate question I think people look at is obvious. It's a SaaS type product. So going forward, would you foresee this product being a kind of a ghost and machine type deal where you ultimately become a part of the actual title process with those companies, and in lieu of having to go out and individually sell it yourself?
Well, that you have foresight into the industry. I know that everything is turning digital. This is a cloud solution, and cloud services work together to become a unified process. We anticipate that we will just become one of the gears in the machine that is the entire real estate process. We don't see this becoming the whole process, but we could become a part of a larger service-driven solution that real estate agents
I guess
use.
that's kind of what I meant, because ultimately you have a machine and you're a cog in that machine that makes that machine run a lot more efficiently, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Are you working from a private cloud solution basis or a public or a hybrid, or how's that working?
This is a public cloud-based solution. This is software as a service. We host in the cloud, and we are able to customize the software, but it's largely an off-the-shelf solution for all the different parties. Much like my previous company, filesanywhere.com, this is a 100% cloud-based solution.
Got it. All right, Tim, we got to run, but before you go, contact info so our investors and our audience can reach out to you.
Sure, thank you. I can be reached at tim@docupayment.com, and you can check out our website, docupayment.com.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. All right, we're going to take a break right now. On the other side of this, we'll come back with Ed Baxter, Bison Creek Capital, a private equity spotlight segment that's been brought to you by thevitaminpatch.com.